instinct. We all have instinct. Animals have instincts. This is why you see dogs digging in the dirt. Why are they digging? They probably don't even know, but they are compelled to do so. As children, our parents often tell us, rely on your gut, on your instincts. And so we've learned to believe that our instincts are right, that they're telling us to do things that are good and healthy for us. But here is something I think many of us don't consider. What if our gut, our instincts are wrong? And because we're operating from such a faulty gut, we're making critical mistakes in our lives. But how, you might say, how does that even happen? Who develops a flawed instinct? It's because deep within us, all of us have things that we call core beliefs. And these core beliefs, they guide our thinking. And these core beliefs are the basis from which we see the world. We use these core beliefs to interpret random interactions in the world. And then those random interactions and those interpretations directly influence how we behave, how we think, how we act, and even how we feel. Now, for some of us, our core beliefs are good. For some of us, our core beliefs are actually too good. That's where narcissism comes in, right? But for most of us, our core beliefs are average. I'm average. I'm smart. I'm good looking. I'm fun. However, for many of us, our core beliefs are actually really, really negative. I'm stupid. I'm boring. I'm ugly. I'm a really evil person. I'm worthless. I'm not good enough. So if you are a person that happens to have a negative core belief, we take those core beliefs, which function as the foundation of our behavior, and then we interpret the interactions in the world. And these interpretations are usually overwhelmingly negative. For instance, you go on an amazing date. You're connecting, you're clicking, you're feeling great, right? Vibes, chemistry, everything, right? And your date says, I'm going to call you tomorrow. And then they don't. Now, if you have a negative core belief such as, I'm ugly, you're going to immediately go to a negative thought process that says, my date did not have fun. They had no intention of calling me. And they didn't call me because they think I'm ugly. You don't know that, but that's what you think. And this type of negative thinking is what we call a cognitive distortion. Cognitive distortions happen really automatically in people who have these defined core beliefs. We don't even realize they're happening. And they influence how we operate on the world. Here are some common cognitive distortions. All or nothing thinking. You see things completely in black and white. If your performance falls short of perfection, then everything else is a total failure. You got a 98 on your test. The fact that you didn't get 100 means that you failed. Disqualifying the positive people use this a lot. You reject every positive experience because for some reason they don't count. I give you a compliment and I say, wow, you look so pretty. Did you look at my hair though? I need to get it done. I really like your dress. Oh, this old thing. I got it at the thrift store. It only cost me $5. But I'm loving your jewelry. That was a hand-me-down. Disqualifying the positive. Jumping to conclusions. There's a couple of things that fall into that. Mind reading. You think that you know what your friend who is talking to you is actually thinking. You're trying to interpret how she feels about you based upon this whole idea that you can read her mind, but you can't. But because you think, oh, she doesn't like me, why is she acting this way about me? Why is she treating me so poorly? I think she hates me. Now you're going to act in a bizarre fashion. Or fortune telling, right? Where you're like, I am not even going to this party. It's going to be horrible. Everybody is going to hate me. And I am not going to have anything appropriate to wear, so they're all going to think that I look horrible. Do you know that? You could actually have fun at this party. But because you've jumped to these conclusions, you've made a decision, and now you're going to be miserable. Should statements are very common. I see this a lot. I should be a better mother. I should be a better father. I should be a better wife. All of these shoulds and must and I ought to be are problematic thoughts and words that come into our head because all they do is give us guilt. Who says that you should be any of these things? So given all this information, what can you do about it? First, recognize that you're engaging in this behavior. Then 2, challenge those negative thoughts. I want you to ask yourself one of 2 questions. Number 1, is there any proof that contradicts this thought? 2, is there any evidence that supports this negative thought? If there is no evidence that supports this thought, then you may be using a form of a cognitive distortion. And at this point, I then want you to do something you're going to find really, really difficult. I want you to act against your instincts. I want you to remember that your gut is wrong. I want you to act even though you feel very uncomfortable. I call this living with discomfort. Why would I want you to live with discomfort? Because through discomfort, we grow. So if that cognitive distortion is telling you, do not go to that party because you really believe that everybody at your job hates you, and if there is no evidence that supports this theory that you are hated, then I want you to get dressed and I want you to go to that party, even though you feel uncomfortable. Sure, it's going to be difficult at first, but if you keep following this method, eventually this discomfort will dissipate, and I promise you're going to be able to breathe again. Over time, your instincts, based on those negative core beliefs, will lose their power, and you will become a more confident, actualized person. So remember 3 things. You ready? Number 1, your gut is wrong. Number 2, live with discomfort. And finally, own your life. Own your crazy.